experiencing negative growth because the cold is making them get smaller.
That's our story about that.
Yeah, right.
I didn't read this book, so I need to get Elo's growth.
All right, and then the table for 41. Guys, and the table in 41 then proceeds to ask you, explain in words the process you use to find the missing input values. And a couple of people came and asked me about this. They said, like, well, what I did was like the opposite. They said what I did was I took like the X, I took the Y, I added 2 with the Y, and then I divided by 3 because that's what undoes what had been done. Yeah, that's exactly what you can write, right? I like took it back. So say I had 148, we can add 2 to that, and then divide by 3 and figure out that the input here would have been 50.
What I did was I said I either undid the subtraction multiplication or undid the subtraction multiplication, depending on which, if I was doing the input or the output.
Questions?
Oh, I forgot to do this.
This is why they said answers will vary for that bottom one. You could phrase that differently. What we do, you could phrase that differently. But that is really, like, you know, we kind of work the process backwards. Any questions, Lily?
2 acres it's 2 gigahertz, right?
What?
This is more of a wording, why wouldn't they simplify to 2 gigahertz?
This? Because improper fractions are better.
Yeah, they are.
Just, no, so honestly, sorry, I shouldn't say that without being, like, obvious that I'm being sarcastic. It's not better versus worse. It's just personal preference. 8/3 is less work, because I can just stop right there. Now, if they say, like, turn back into a mixed number or something like that, or make it a decimal, that's different. But all they say is solve for x, check your solution. They don't even say simplify. Right, so we don't care what form we leave our number in. Maddie.
Can we do 440? Because I got 2 instead of 3.
I am thinking of a number that when I double, and then, that's important, subtract the result from 5. So we took our number and doubled it. And if we call our number x, but that doubling of the number, that is what is subtracted from 5. So it's actually this
That's what I got wrong.
equals -1. It's all that phrasing. The result is subtracted from 5.
You were your phrase wrong. Wait, what?
Take a moment. Shh. Guys, all of you. Whenever you're about to say, wait, what? Who? Huh? Who?
Huh?
Stop. Think. Reread the situation. Ask yourself if you carefully read it the first time. When I double my number and then subtract the result is the doubled number. I subtract the result from. That means I'm taking that away from 5. Equals, I get -1. 5 minus 2x equals -1. Questions? Today is a totally on your own day. But because of that, I am very scared because we have issues following directions. So pencils down. I don't want to make you put your hands up because that's just silly. But if you need to put your hands on your head, do it if that's how you can listen. Today, you'll actually turn in your classwork. Unless I have to put grades in map, it shouldn't need to go in map if all of us turn them in. But if, like, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 of us don't want to turn them in, then I'll put them in map just so I can put those missings in. So on your graph paper, we're all going to head that graph paper with your name, of course, and then 4.1.5 multiple representations. Do that right now. 4.1. You could if you want to rip it out, but if you don't, I got paper for you. 4.1.5 multiple representations. Do we have this written down on our paper? Mr. Macarena? Do you have that written down on your paper?
Header. Oh, okay. That's Scott Macarena.
I still don't fully understand 440.
No.
I don't understand how we got to negative, or how we got to it.
They might have a typo. Let me solve it real quick.
It doesn't have a typo. There's no typo. I'm just saying.
What'd they get for the answer? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it.
It is not.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
On each side in 440, if you did not resolve this again before making me resolve it, that's just rude. To get rid of this positive 5, I subtract 5 from both sides. When I subtract 5 and I check my math because I am critical of myself and say I may have made a mistake, I check and find out this is negative 6, right? Good. That's equal to negative 2 times something. Negative 2 times some x needs to make negative 6. That would be a 3. So double checking that their key had the same thing. It's a 3.
Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome. Don't apologize. Just saying, like, when we check answers, we don't necessarily have to figure out what we're doing right then. AO and extensions, right, guys? You can always come at AO and extensions. So now, each part, A through D. Now, here's my suggestion. If you like using both sides of your paper, you could right now go ahead and say A is going to be the top half of this paper, B is going to be the bottom half of this side, C will be the back top, D will be the bottom of the back. Or you could just say you're probably going to use 2 sheets of graph paper, or you can wait and just do A and then see how much space it takes up. But for each part, A through D, you will have 4 answers. Those 4 answers are table, graph, rule, and pattern. So if you need to write that down right now so you can remember what the 4 things are, it is table, graph, rule, and pattern. And this is in your book. So this is not like trickery or anything like that. It's in your book. 1 or 2 of those things have been provided for you. Those get copied down. And then we create the rest of them.
Oh, I see.
Kendall, please come to the office. Kendall, please come to the office.
So, for example, I would have written down that this is 415 and I would have a header. And my name would be on this paper. Check that your name is on this paper. I still have no names. That got turned in on Friday. So when I go to pass stuff back, which actually probably won't happen until tomorrow because I did not get totally caught up.
Wednesday.
No, tomorrow. Tomorrow is obviously referencing Wednesday. Friday's tomorrow is Monday. Friday's tomorrow is Monday.
And today's tomorrow is Wednesday.
So, on A, on part A here. Part A. They have given me figure 3. I'm going to draw that on my paper, right? So on my paper, I draw figure 3 how they have it. This is why I'm giving you guys like all day to work on this, or all class period. And then we can work on it later in the week if we need. we'll assess at the end of class. But guys, if you're not focused, if you're goofing around, the chances of me giving you more time to work on this is very slim. If you're actually focused and working, and you guys say, yeah, we want longer for this, that's totally fine. But so the first thing on our paper is what they drew. And we label it figure 3. The next thing on my paper is going to be what else? Now notice what they did with the axes. How'd they scale their y-axis? By 3s. Because they wanted to make things convenient for them. But where does this look like it starts? At 4. Right? So when you go to draw this, yeah, and I can't really zoom in. I can try to. So have we had a y-intercept of a partial value yet? No. So we can guess that, especially since it's representing tiles, we can go ahead and guess that this is going to be a whole number. It looks like it's beneath the halfway point, so we're going to say that's 4. Copy this however you want. And here's what I mean by that. You can scale however you feel like it. I'm going to go ahead and just go by 1s. Because it looks like that might be okay. I don't know. I mean, might go off my graph. Here's 9. So I need to extend this axis. This is also, I'm working in pencils way better. But then down here, I don't know, maybe I'll just do this. 1, 2. You can scale your axes however you feel like it. I don't love this out of place arrow. So then we said it looks like it's starting at 4. And the triangle shows us when x goes up by 1, y goes up by 3. So when x goes up by 1, y goes up by 3. X goes up by 1, y goes up by 3. And once I'm off the graph, I'm off the graph, right? Like that's as much as I can show. How many representations do I already have done for me? 2. I've got the pattern. Check. I've got the graph. Check.
Wait, what does it go up by on the next one? Oh, I can put it on.
So right here, this is why you have a book. Right here, they gave us that slope triangle of every time x goes up by 1, y goes up by 3. So now we still need a table and a rule. So we still just need a table. And then our final piece that we need is the rule. So on your paper, for each of these, you're going to have a pattern, a graph, a table, and a rule. You can. I mean, I really prefer a vertical table, but it's up to you guys. Like, I'm never going to tell you have to do something a certain way when there's no reason that you have to. Sure. But as we get deeper into this, we're going to talk about, does it make sense to go negative on these things? And if I'm making like carpet or making like some real objects, like what would the negative represent? If it doesn't make sense, we don't normally show it. So like our graph is mainly going to be out in the positive axes. Our table is mainly going to be talking about positive values because we don't really know what we're talking about, but this is easier than dealing with negatives. So now that, because Mr. Hudson's a weird teacher, he's done most of the first problem for you, all you need to figure out is your rule. Do not say it out loud. Waiting for Jake or Gus to do that. So then, on BCD, You guys do the same things. So B only gives you one representation. Guys, eyes up here real quick. Look at their y-axis.
Oh my god.
Should we scale by like 2 or 3 or 4? No. Scale by what makes sense for the problem. I would figure out what they would actually scale by if they went and hit the 5 and hit the 6 and then hit the 7. But guys, you do not need your scale to be some pretty number like 10 or 15 or 20. You can make your scale anything you want. I could count by 31s. We're not here because 31 corresponds to 4, right? So there's a different, smaller scale that they're operating with. But the only two they give me is 31 and 58. You have a book. It has all of these in it. Questions for the good of the order.
I'm pretty sure that's not, because when you multiply 31 by 2, it goes to 62.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not how this one works.
What if it is?
This is why you have teams.
I don't. My team.
Well, then move yourself around. Max could use a teammate. Looks like Lily and Brenda could use a teammate.
Wow, Max, you're the best teammate
Hey,
I've
Max.
ever had.
You can't do this because in the office. I get back, I can some often. So first things first, your X should be on the left side of your table, and your Y should be on the right. So the other go input on the left, output on the right. Yeah, we need to erase those numbers. You gotta get used to putting X's on the left. So you made this a tad bit tricky, going by twos over here. You could leave it like that. You just have to throw the other pencil. So according to this goes up by 3.
I'm assuming we only have to draw. Assuming for the pattern, we only have to draw one figure.
The other form. The actual form.
I'll be back tomorrow.
I think we're saying the same thing. So often, you try to do while you're listening, and that like gets a little annoying.
31 divided by 4.
This goes up
31 divided by 4
every time, and X goes up by 1. So when X goes up by 1, this needs to go up by 3. So for you, you gotta go a box and a half, right?
7.75.
I'm on B.
Every time X goes to 1, so figure X all the way out to 1. Y goes up by 3. On your paper, you made 3 needs to go a box and a half. So go up a box and a half. Now drop your next point. Now we don't always actually draw that triangle. Normally just like, hold on. Yeah, box and a half lands right there. So then the numbers we put here are going to correspond with the X and Y values from the graph over there. That makes sense?
You don't
Can I borrow that?
When you go to draw the pattern, you can draw it however you want. Like the other day when I started making a robot dude, right? So if they don't tell you, hold up, because I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
Yeah, the 2 just feels wrong. It gets your attention really quickly. So in B, you have no tile patterns to go off of. You can make it look like however you want. However, I would probably not try to draw tile pattern number 7 because then you'll have to draw 58 boxes. So I would maybe draw like tile pattern 0 or 1 or 2 or like whatever makes sense. But in C, you know what figure 8 looks like. You have to make your pattern be able to like get there, but you don't have to show figure 7. You just kind of have to make sense of like how could this be what there is at figure 8. And I'm very curious because figure 3 had more tiles than that. Don't say anything out loud. And then same with D. You can make it look however you want because there's no tile patterns to match, right? So C is really the only one where you have to match a certain looking tile pattern.
I think B and A are the easiest.
What? Always trying to get water. Heck, that's most of the reason when we make questionable choices, we're dehydrated. Guys, there's a new commercial with one of the dudes from that show whose title I shouldn't say. The MTV show where they do stupid stuff. It's the nickname for a donkey. But he's on a commercial talking about like this water, whatever. But for real, all of that to say, drink water. If you've gone all day and you really haven't drank much water, you are dehydrated. If you pee and it is yellow, you're dehydrated.
Oh no.
I'm not. Your pee should be clear. Like it's relatively clear. I know this is gross, but guys, a lot of you, I look at you and you look tired. You look like out of energy. You're dehydrated. Drink water. And when you go home, drink water. When you wake up in the morning, drink water. Like get yourself hydrated.
Drink water.
Seriously.
When you're dead. Well,
I keep my water bottle next to my bed.
Water.
Seriously, I wake up in the middle of the night, drink water.
I'm always dehydrated because
Jerry Seinfeld has a bit about what is it about dreaming that makes us so thirsty. Yo, help you with a question.
help is requested.
Why would I help you? It's not like not like that's my job.
Okay. Let's help then.
I think you can. Why do you think you need help? Well, so are calculators. Okay, well tell me what you can see from the... 431, 750. Okay, did we at least like put those in a table? I wonder if solving one thing will solve another thing.
I doubt it.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I seriously did not.
We figured it out. Actually, Aaron,
I said when you go to graph something, only having 2 points is not enough to graph it. But they've already given us the graph. They actually gave us more points than just 2. They've only labeled 2 points. They've only labeled 2 points. If you're mad at me about B and you don't have a table, you should be mad at yourself. If you're mad at me about B and you haven't made a table yet, you should really only be mad at yourself.
Can we still be mad at you?
I mean, you can always be mad at me. I'm your teacher. I kind of assume those things happen.
Alright, Seth. Mad at you anyways.
Now back to my people who think they can't do this. Okay, so I think 431 and 758 actually tell me another set of numbers that I can figure out.
Zeros.
Like surround sound. Mr. Hudson, Mr.
Sorry, I got one. He's helping us.
All you want me to do is chat.
No, we don't understand. With all this.
Just gonna absorb this mental. I got a question.
Congratulations.
I got a question.
It's for you.
When I graduated college, do you think?
He's getting sad again.
Do you think I had a bunch of money in the bank, or I owed a bunch of money to other people? Owed a bunch of money to other people. Next month, yeah, I'm going to toot my own horn here. Next month will be my final payment on my student loans. But what that looks like is not this part of the graph. What that looks like is this part of the graph. Because when I graduated college,
I can't see.
I owed a crap ton of money to other people. But as I made money and paid back money, so next month, the amount of debt I'll owe, I forget how many months, it's been like 10 years, so I guess we could say like 120 months.
How can you do
It'll be
that?
$0. Now, I'll finally get up to $0. So, did I start at a positive or a negative?
Negative.
Can I have a negative number at my figure 0?
Yes.
Yes.
You're thinking B. That means we are correct.
Well, I know you said
I can't hear you. How do you show a negative number what? You don't have to show figure 0. You don't have to show figure 1. Come on, change your mindset. You look negative right now. Hey, friends. You're all making assumptions and forgetting that I'm a reasonable person. What pattern figure does it show in part C? What figure does it show in part C? 8. Did I say you have to show figure 0? Did I say you have to show figure 1? No. So for B, do I care if you show figure 0 having a negative amount of tiles? No. I don't care what figures you show me. So, because I got a lot of people mad at me about B, I don't really care that you're mad at me. Quite frankly, it kind of makes me have a good time.
How dare you?
What is 27? What is 27 divided by 3? 9. This tells me I go up by 9 every time.
Right.
And I can verify that by double checking 40, 49, 58. That works. So if I start going down by 9s,
I don't like going to right, Mr. Hudson.
22, 13,
I made it 4.
4.
Negative 5.
Guys, we almost never show figure 0. We are the ones that chose to draw it, right? CPM shows us figure 1. Most of the time, figure 0 doesn't quite make sense. Guys, think back to our mastery when the seed was in the ground and the tree wasn't growing yet.
Wait, what? Wait, do we only have to draw one?
I'm still.
Are you already talking about that with and I forgot about that. Next time.
I made it 7.
Dust, you can make
I'm trying to make it too.
He's adding 7. So it's 9.
No, probably should be probably should be 1. I can do
Like,
I don't know.
Sweet, I got an idea. Guys.
so tomorrow's Wednesday.
I'm not gonna say anything. I know.
I think you're gonna come out of lunch on No, you need to engage in this on your own first. That picture right there tells me I don't need help you right now. You need help yourself.
It has to go once.
Are we on C now?
negative 2x.
Alright, add. I'm gonna do figure. Like, they already gave it. I didn't see it.
Or 18. Where's 0?
I'll sit next to you and babysit you.
Where's 0?
Yep, take your drum.
Oh.
Nope, I'm just talking about that.
What page is it, guys? What page
I
is
have a
it?
bunch of stuff written down there. You could have
It's
like,
page
a
167.
picture instead.
I actually put the book.
Okay, so 0.
You're gonna be uncomfortable with graph. You're gonna not know what you're doing. You're gonna be just like that because you made the choices that you got in place. And at a certain point, I need you to realize that dancing in Margarita for 5 minutes and then deciding that it was time to go to the bathroom and then now you're here.
I'll do figure 1.
So when we don't make the correct choices, we end up in places that maybe aren't the best solutions. I hope that we're in the better choices as we move forward. But today, I'm all out of patience.
And then I see that solve it.
I don't know. How much patience and other criteria shit. Most teachers
I know, it's weird. Oh, you're making this.
Oh, this is like, why is what? I totally screwed my head.
If you do not know what you're doing, or you feel like you are more confused than you should be, this is your personal invitation to join me for math lunch on Wednesday. At this point, and guys, this is on the bottom of your homework. Actually, I think it's the homework I just made that you still need to get. Yeah, on the bottom of this homework, on the bottom of 415, it tells you to check your answers. And there's a message written from me about at this point, this stuff should make sense. And if it doesn't, that's a problem and we need to take care of it. So if this stuff does not make sense, you need to come to math lunch. We need to work together. On your paper. Nah, don't turn anything in right now. I got too much turned in already. On your paper where there's those awkward P's on the left side, I was trying to make it say GP to identify like, hey, yeah, graph paper. Although, you know, life is funny and copy machines don't like me. So right here, it just says P with like a weird little thing beside it. On the back, it says P in a couple places. Those were supposed to be your indications that, yes, I'm going to be looking for graph paper when I check that. On the front, I also underlined in terms of pi. Do not turn pi into 3. Guys, I don't know why you're talking to each other. You're ignoring the important announcements that I'm making. Again, I don't understand the choices you're making. In terms of pi, because I guarantee you would have come and asked me about this and I would have ripped your head off. Metaphorically speaking, of course. This means do not multiply by 3.14. Leave pi as pi. So, literally, if your answer is like 25 pi, 81 pi, like, you just leave pi as pi. You don't multiply by 3.14.
Oh crap, we're not supposed to be doing that?
No, just this one time.
This is a new homework. Alright, we should probably get out of here before I lose all my patience. Have a great day, guys.